Okay, the purpose of this video is to show you guys how to make a simple line graph in Google Sheets. So when you're entering your data, for example, we're going to enter some data that is the volume. We're going to measure the volume of some liquid in a graduated cylinder, and then we're going to have the mass. So we're going to plot volume versus mass. This is the way we could find density. So let's say the volume was 10 milliliters, 20 milliliters, 30 milliliters, 40 milliliters. And when you found the mass of this, it was 10 grams, 21 grams, 30 grams, 39 grams. That was the data that you had collected. So if we want to make a graph of this, the first thing you're going to do is select all of the data, including, notice I included the headings or the words that are describing each column when I did that. And then there's a chart or picture of a little graph here. And when you put your cursor over it, it says insert chart. Now you could go over to hit the insert and then do it, but this is easier. So we'll hit insert chart. It's just going to automatically throw something up here. Now mine is set so that the scatter chart, which is what we want to plot when we want a line graph here in science class, comes up as the first one. If for some reason that's not what showed up, then here in the setup over here, which just pops up, you could just select this, drop down, and then you could go down and you can find whatever kind that you want. But you want scatter chart, and that's already selected here. So then we want to click customize up here, because we want to go down and add a trend line for our data. So we do that by clicking on series. Then we're going to go down right here, trend line. So we're going to click that. And then that adds a line of best fit to our data. And then for a simple line graph, we're done. There's all sorts of extra things you could do and ways you could customize it and make it look fancy. But for just a simple line graph, that's all we need. But we do want to make sure that we have the title the way we want. So you can just click where the title is. And let's say we need this density graph or whatever title you want it to be. And then we have to make sure that we have units, which weren't included yet. So I'm going to put volume, and then in parentheses, I'm just going to write that my volume is in milliliters. And for mass here, I'm going to write that my mass is in grams. That way I have my units on here. So my graph is essentially complete. I have my data points. I have my line of best fit. I have my labels for my x-axis and my y-axis, including the units, and I have a title. So now I'm just going to select, I'm going to hit Control-C. I'm going to copy this entire graph. And so then that allows me to then paste it somewhere else. So for example, if I had a Google Doc somewhere, I could insert this graph that I've copied right into the Google Doc. And that's it on how to make a simple graph for science class.